All right, video number one. This is my first YouTube video of putting anything on. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I actually challenged a buddy of mine, Jake Schofield, who has Schofield Welding, and he has a YouTube channel as well. He got on and started talking about having a cooking channel. The guy really likes cooking outside and doing experimenting, cooking steaks. You know, it's one of his main topics that he has on his page, other than welding. He's either welding, playing with Balin, or he's cooking. That's what it seems like. So he had said that he wanted to do a cooking channel, or had been kicking around the idea of a cooking channel, and I challenged him on Instagram to a more or less a cook-off or something like that. But we're going to share some recipes and whatnot. This could be a fun thing while we got so much craziness going on right now. So what I'm actually going to cook tonight for my family is going to be jambalaya. We're going to cook it out on a Dutch oven. Now I am cheating a little bit. Jake usually cooks on the ground with charcoals and things like that. I don't have that luxury. I don't have a place where I can just put charcoals down on the ground, a fire pit, so to speak, out on my back patio to be able to drop my Dutch oven out on a bed of coals and cook that way. So the way that we're going to do it is we're going to do it on a turkey fryer. We'll actually light a turkey fryer, put the Dutch oven on it, and we'll cook through there. But right now we're going to start the prep for this jambalaya. I had read up and looked and got a few recipes and took 4 or 5 different recipes and put them all together to make one. It works out really well. My wife does not like spicy food. She does not. If it's super spicy, she will not eat it. So I kind of have to tame it down a little bit. I like spicy food, so it does give a little bit of spice, and you can add more to it before you eat it. You know, like Tabasco or pepper or some cayenne or something before you eat each individual serving. So she keeps hers mild. I like to spice mine up. But to get started, we're going to start with this prep. So the way that I'm going to get started is I'm going to use these bell peppers. I use all 3 different ones because I think the yellow ones are a little bit sweeter than the green ones, and the green ones are a little bit sweeter than the red. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that's true or false or not. That's just what my palate does. I'm also going to use 1 sweet white onion. We're going to need some chicken stock. I'm actually, with my jambalaya, I don't add shrimp to it. We use chicken and sausage. And then to get my pan going and get all the grease and stuff going, so when I brown my chicken and whatnot, I'm actually going to use bacon. So one of the things you guys will find, if I do more videos, you're going to find out that I use bacon in almost everything. Bacon is the best grease for me to cook with, and that's what I do. So I'll show you a few things of what I do and how I prepare it. So anyway, before we get started, I am not trained in the culinary arts. Everything that I know, I learned from my grandparents or my grandmothers and my dad and my mom. So if you see me doing something wrong, and the way I use my knife, the way that I trim something, the way that I cut something, sorry, it works for me, so that's the way that I'm going to do it. So I'm going to start cutting up these vegetables and get them ready to go into the Dutch oven. Another thing that I do that I learned, I also do barbecue contests. So at a barbecue contest, you don't have a trash can or a garbage disposal handy. So what I do is, when I go to whatever store it is, this happens to be a Dillon sack, I have this stainless steel bowl, and I'll put this bag into this stainless steel bowl and wrap the edges. And I'll put this right here where I'm prepping stuff, and then I throw all my stuff in here, and then it can go out to the trash. That works really good when you're trimming chicken or beef or something else. You can put your trimmings in that bag and throw it away, and then you don't have a big mess. I did rinse these off before I started cutting them, but now I'm going to just rinse the seeds out of the inside. All right, so we got everything trimmed up. One thing I did leave out is I left out celery. I showed you the bell peppers and the onion and the sausage, but I left out celery. I did add celery to it. About 5 stalks of celery is going to go into this. So we got the sausage trimmed up. We've got the onion, celery, the 3 bell peppers. Now I'm going to get my bacon ready to go. So what I do on my bacon is I'm going to just trim off about 1/3 of this. I'm going to take the fattiest side and I'm going to cut that off. And this is a pound of bacon. So I'm going to take this fattiest side right here. I'm going to take about 1/3 of that and I'm going to cut that off. And this is going to go into my Dutch oven to get my grease and everything ready to go so I can brown my chicken and my sausage. The rest of this bacon is going to go into a Ziploc bag for tomorrow morning. So, take that, set that aside, and then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my chicken breasts. I'm going to pull that out, and I'm not going to cut it on this cutting board. I'm going to use a separate cutting board to cut that so that I don't cross-contaminate poultry with anything else. So I'm going to get that all cubed up, diced up into about 1 inch by 1 inch pieces, and the next time you see me, we will probably be outside with the Dutch oven, getting it hot, showing you how I kind of set up my turkey fryer and things like that. And then we'll start rendering things down. Put the bacon in, get the grease good and hot, and then I'll start adding the chicken and the sausage and some other things. So stay tuned. Next time you see me, we will probably be outside getting things nice. So what we have going on right now is we have a turkey fryer hooked up to a propane tank and the Dutch oven on top of it. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to throw this bacon into this Dutch oven, and I'm going to get that grease going. I don't throw it in there a big chunk like this. I like to spread it out. That way it'll cook evenly and render down. And I get that pan full of oil so that I can start browning my chicken and stuff like that with it. So I'm gonna let that cook down. I'm gonna go in, get some tongs so I can move this around, get a few utensils that I left inside. But I'm gonna go ahead and let that render down. I'm gonna put this lid over the top of this. So that bacon can do its thing. And we'll get ready to put the rest of our stuff into our pot. We'll start out with, we'll put our chicken in, and then we'll put our sausage in. So stay tuned. Okay, as you can see, I got a pretty decent amount of oil, or not oil, but it's grease, bacon grease, down inside of that Dutch oven now. I removed the bacon and I put it over there. That's going to be my snack. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this chicken right here and I'm going to put it in there. So the spices that I have is Slap Your Mama, some Old Bay, and some Andes. It's Andes Creole Gumbo. It's got a real good taste to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this chicken in there, and I'm going to add the Slap Your Mamas and the Andes to it and season it as I'm browning it. I just kind of cover, whenever I do that, I make sure that I just cover the tops, and I'm gonna let it go until it doesn't have that violent singe to it no more, and then I'll start turning it. I use both of them, and I just kind of cover the tops of the chicken on both seasonings, and then as it cooks down, then we'll start to turn it and get those spices down into that oil. Okay, we got it evenly separated along the bottom of that Dutch oven. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the lid and let it do its thing for a few minutes. Then we'll come back and we'll turn it again. Okay, so our chicken's browned up. Best thing to have is a welding glove around to hold the top of this thing. But our chicken's all browned up, looks good, looks nice. So now we're going to add our sausage to this, and we're going to brown it and get it going. The sausage doesn't take near as long as what the chicken does because it's already cooked. It's fully cooked, so right now we're just kind of mixing the seasonings and the chicken and the sausage all together so they'll kind of mate. So now I'm just going to cover this. It's going to kind of steam that sausage down a little bit. And as soon as we have this kind of browned down, rendered down a little bit, then we'll start adding our veggies to it. As soon as we get our veggies in there, then we'll start adding our liquids, our chicken broth, and I have some canned tomatoes that I'll throw in here as well. Now, everything browned up, looks good. We're going to add these vegetables in. One of the, you can see that everything's kind of going together, looks good. I'm gonna add everything except the onion. I wait till the onion for the last because if not, then it renders down and just gets real small and could potentially burn. Give that a quick stir. Let it move around. We'll kind of sweat those down. As soon as they're sweating down, then we'll add our onion. Now we have all of our vegetables. We have our sausage, our chicken. It's all going. So now we're going to kind of finish this off and get it ready to be done. What I'm going to do is I use this jarred minced garlic. It works really good. I'm going to put 1 spoonful of it in there. About like a heaping tablespoon full. Mix that up. Then the next thing that comes in is these are just diced canned tomatoes, Italian style. I like those. We're going to add those into the mix. Then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to use about 1/3 of this of chicken stock. About like so. Now is when stuff's fixing to get real, because now we add the good stuff.
And this is my favorite. I could eat this stuff on everything. I love it on crab, lobster, scallops. We put it on pork chops, and it's Old Bay. You can get this at Dillon's. You can get it wherever. But this is just something that my family's used for years, and this is what I know. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm just going to put Old Bay in here, and I'm just going to cover the top of this to where it's evenly coated all along the top, like so. Pretty heavy handed, because I want to give it that nice Cajun or Old Bay flavor.